think as far as politics today is concerned, and it's what I signed up for. So yeah, it's a concern, but like, you know, it is what it is. And
what's going on, you guys? Today we have Philip DeFranco and Brian Tyler Cohen dismantling the MAGA administration. MAGA is losing its fan base. Brian Tyler Cohen and Philip DeFranco are out here calling it all out, exposing it all. Let's get into it.
That he feels have wronged him. He doesn't hesitate to launch attacks on private citizens. You've got ICE scooping up people seemingly because of things that they wrote. You know, throughout all of America, you've got masked men jumping out of vans and just scooping up undocumented immigrants, legal immigrants, native-born Americans, all the same. And you've got Stephen Miller routinely suggesting they'll suspend habeas corpus, and that's when he's not sending the military in to crush protests or defying court orders. Right, and all of that as you see Trump's cabinet meetings beginning with like an hour-long praise session where his cabinet tells him just how powerful and wonderful he is. It feels like a scene from a movie that's trying to make fun of dictators, with many arguing that all of this, it sends a message that Trump is inevitable, and so there's no use in getting upset because criticizing him, it's more trouble than it's worth. And that, as infamously the founder of Project 2025, which many argue is Trump's main governing doctrine, said last year that the revolution will be bloodless, quote, if the left allows it to be. And we're living in this time where it seems like more and more Americans of all political positions, all colors and creeds, they feel in their gut that there is something deeply un-American about what's going on, or what many call the brute force tactics, the crackdown on free speech, and Trump acting like a king who many see as having shaken down Paramount, took credit for getting Colbert canceled, and put CBS on a bias monitor that directly reports to him. But then, notably, South Park of all places coming out with one of their most pointed episodes ever, where they went after Trump for thinking that he was a dictator, characterizing him as essentially Saddam Hussein, and it laughed at him for being so weak that he has to sue everyone who criticizes him, showcasing him as this blob with a small penis that's evil and in bed with Satan. And that, it's just one small part of what we're seeing play out in the entertainment industry. And in every sector that Trump's gone after, it appears like everyone rolls over, and then eventually they get to someone with a backbone and the whole scheme blows up in his face. Right? And since the episode, the entertainment industry has been having an open season on Trump. Definitely, we're seeing things in different sectors. I mean, you have Joe Rogan now regularly opining on what he sees as Trump's attempts to cover up Epstein and his abuses of power. The Flagrant podcast is now regularly criticizing Trump, hosting Democrats and gushing over John Ossoff now. The other late night hosts seem determined to take a chunk out of him. And that is yet the Dropkick Murphys dedicating First Class Loser to Trump earlier this week, and Green Day leading crowds in Fuck Trump chants. The Trump, in some polls, having an approval rating that's sitting at 37% with 71% of independents.
So yeah, we have Andrew Schulz and Joe Rogan even now distancing themselves. Andrew Schulz, I believe, at one point said that the Republicans were the new cool kids, that Republicans had, quote unquote, more balls. I think that's actually what he said verbatim. And yeah, he couldn't be more wrong at this point. They're so out of touch. They have become boomerfied immediately, almost immediately, showing nothing but undying support for Israel. You can see how much they are in Israel's pocket, and how it's nothing having to do with the working people. There is no such thing as a MAGA, whether it's someone a part of the administration or Donald Trump himself, that cares about people like us. So let's get into some more of it.
And that was without the widespread media criticism. That 37% is a standout figure because it's just 3 points higher than Trump's all-time worst approval rating, which came after January 6th. With some saying he's entering total freefall. So to dive into that and what comes next, I have my guest today, Brian Tyler Cohen. He's an author, creator, political commentator, and the host of No Lie with Brian Tyler Cohen. He's just all over the news these days, and it feels like you can't go 2 channels without seeing this guy. So Brian, just to start, like, how are you navigating the media landscape right now? Because you have Trump, right, suing or pressuring or intimidating everyone from huge universities, companies, and news organizations. So, like, how are you navigating the space? Are you ever getting concerned? Where are you at right now?
Yeah, of course I get concerned. I think everybody in the space gets concerned, but my mentality is like, I'm here to do my job, and oftentimes that criticizes people for not managing to stand up for what they purport to care about. I mean, like, we see all these legacy media outlets that hid behind slogans of like democracy dies in darkness for years and years and years. And when push came to shove, like when those values were actually challenged, look at the way that they capitulate to him. So look, my job is to fight back against what this administration is doing and speak out. And so, yes, it's nerve-wracking, because why wouldn't it be? I mean, they've completely weaponized the federal government. We have people who've expressly gone after media companies, media entities. They're very litigious, but like, if you're going to speak out against this administration, then you have to do it knowing that there are risks involved. And so that's just part of the game, I think, as far as politics today is concerned, and it's what I signed up for. So yeah, it's a concern, but like, it is what it is, and I just have to kind of shoulder that burden and move forward.
Do you imagine a world where one day you wake up and you see United States v. Brian Tyler Cohen? Or do you think, even though, I mean, you've been growing at a wild rate, I mean, do you still think you're...
And to stay updated with all of the political commentators in this digital landscape, make sure to like and subscribe to this channel.
Small potatoes, or do you think that is an eventuality?
I think somewhere in between. Like, would I be surprised if I was sued by this administration? No. I would be upset if I was sued by this administration. I obviously don't want to be sued. It's a major fear of mine to have to deal with that extra stress. I mean, already working in politics and living in the toxic sludge that is the internet is stressful unto itself. The hours that I do are stressful, and that's owed to the fact that politics just doesn't slow down. But at the same time, I try to be really careful with what I say. I try to be responsible with what I say. Always try to tell the truth and make sure that I'm buttoned up. And so, that part I have control over, right? And any administration that's actually acting in good faith wouldn't have grounds to sue me. But this administration isn't acting in good faith. And so would I be surprised if there was a lawsuit, a bad faith lawsuit? No, because that's part of what it looks like when the administration weaponizes the government. They're not worried about, is this a well-founded claim against a litigant? They're thinking, okay, how can I silence my critics? And part of silencing your critics is using these lawsuits to do exactly that, even if there's no there. They can cause a lot of damage, even if there's no good case. I mean, it's expensive, it's anxiety inducing, it's stressful, that's what they want. And it sends a message to other people out there who might think, okay, even if there's no there when it comes to a lawsuit, I don't want to have to deal with that stress. And so maybe I just won't say the things that I might normally say about this administration. So the chilling effect really is the point, even if at the end of that long line, there's no valid lawsuit.
Yeah. And I mean, with the chilling effect, there is a difference between private citizens and corporations and politicians. But I mean, politicians haven't been spared. I mean, there's the conversation of or the saying of Gavin Newsom, why wouldn't he get arrested?
And it's not just, as much as it is this administration, I could also see that there's a lot of just the powers at be, whoever they are, that they're going to use anything, lawsuits, blackmail, they want to do smear campaigns. I don't know if you guys know or familiar with Glenn Greenwald, but whenever they had that tape that got released from his own Twitter, it's just a shame that the lengths that whoever it is that they'll go to put nothing but dirt on people's names. It's really a shame.
That sort of all of a sudden it becomes part of the national conversation. And so as that's happening and you're seeing the chilling effect play out, who do you think right now, as far as politicians are communicating against Donald Trump and maybe it's even the separate thing, for Democrats the best right now in the current climate?
So there are my North Star right now is people who are fighting. I speak about this a lot, and so I'm sorry if you've heard me say this before, or if anybody listening has heard me say this before, but Democrats for so long have been a party that kind of relies on strongly worded letters, like that's our thing, and it's been tough as somebody who recognizes what Republicans are doing and how they wield their weapons, to know that we're like, okay, well, Republicans did this, and so at the end of this road, I know that a strongly worded letter is coming, and that'll show them. And so I've been trying to use my platform to highlight people who are actually going to fight and who are fighting back. In terms of people who are doing it, look, you just mentioned Gavin Newsom. He's doing it. I think he recognizes that fighting back is the only thing we can do right now, and hoping that we can work together and offer goodwill in hopes of some elusive...
For anyone watching this wondering how they can personally get involved, I know that there may be a stigma that says, protests don't actually work. But I believe if done in the correct way, if you know any type of union, or if there's any type of union around you, to also take advantage of that. But there's a lot of different ways to protest, to get involved, to make your voice heard. The only way is to make our voice heard and continue to get out there. They have this guy named Ralph Nader. If you want to read up on that, there's a bunch of different ways to. He's had a few great books, but there's different people out here that are wanting to get the good fight out. It's just a matter of not giving up, to continue to keep on going, and to continue to realize that contributing to the bigger picture, helping all of these people, is actually the highest power that you can tap into. And, I don't think there's anything better than that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. It's another day in the progressive way.